So the first batch of Gene Hackman Bodycam footage has been released. It looks like they're going to be releasing it in little snippets. About 3 videos have already made their way online. More will be releasing supposedly within the coming days, maybe even the coming hours. By the time you're watching this, there may be more footage. Now, I've already shown you some of the footage that was released with police outside of Gene Hackman's house. But there are 2 other videos that have been released as well. Unfortunately, TMZ obtained these videos first, and they are very strict with their copyrights. But the footage is kind of uneventful. In one of the videos, it's basically just a cop sitting in his car having a conversation with Gene Hackman's daughter. In that conversation, Gene Hackman's daughter basically requests that they cremate the dog that unfortunately passed away and that they bury the dog with Betsy. She also requests that they keep the dog's collar if the dog had a collar on. It was an uncomfortable conversation, to say the least, but definitely uneventful footage. But also, they did release some footage of them talking to the man who originally called police, who found Gene and Betsy originally. And that was Gene and Betsy's handyman, someone who had been working for them for years, working around the home. Now, we didn't know this at first, but this guy actually revealed that he was law enforcement's #1 suspect. They actually took his phone. They went into his computer. They were actively investigating him in the opening days of the investigation. So you got to imagine how stressful that is. You come, you find your boss is basically laid out on the ground. You call and try to do the right thing, and next thing you know, you're public enemy suspect #1. But you see, the sad reality is no one else was checking up on Gene and Betsy. Gene's own kids didn't think to check up on him. His handyman did. And I think that's sad. I understand they did not have a normal, healthy relationship, but when the guy that does odd jobs around your house seems to care about your well-being more than your own children, it's just sad. But anyways, they released a portion of footage having a conversation with him, and I have that whole conversation right here for you all. Let's go ahead and go over what was said. In the videos, law enforcement officers are at the Hackman residence after a 911 call was placed. The footage is from several deputies who were walking outside the home. In one video obtained by TMZ, the deputies are seen interviewing one of the workers who found the bodies. The groundskeeper gets emotional while talking about Gene and Betsy, saying, "I get attached to all of these people, you know. They treat me really well, and she was a sweetheart. And to see them like that." In more footage, a deputy is talking to the same groundskeeper and a handyman about the possibility of a gas leak. The handyman explains that there is a mechanical room downstairs with 2 or 3 big old boilers, adding, "That big vent you see on the roof by the front door, that thing's like that big around. So it's meant to vent. So I just don't. And that mechanical room is pretty damn tight. I don't see carbon monoxide getting out. And it wouldn't leak through any of the kitchen appliances," the deputy asked. The handyman answers, "It shouldn't. I don't see how this is both of them are down like this. Something's not right." He notes the doors were locked. The doors were never locked up here. He also says of the couple, they were super private. The men also say that they had last seen Gene and Betsy about 2.5 weeks ago. So, this is where, at least for me, a new layer of mystery comes in. Now, for one, they say they saw Gene and Betsy a couple of weeks ago. And the crazy part is, even though supposedly Gene had advanced Alzheimer's, like the last time they saw him, he was driving around in his own car by himself, waving at people and talking. So that's odd enough. But now, in this body cam footage, the groundskeeper is literally like, all the doors are locked. The doors are never locked. Now, why is that a problem? Because the story has changed freaking 50 times now. Originally, the front door was ajar. You could go Google it, you could go look it up. In the initial details released, the front door was ajar. Then they said, no, the front door was closed, but it was unlocked. Then they said, oh, the dogs must have went out the back door was open. Then they changed it and said, no, it must have been a doggy door, or the back door could have been open too. Then they said a side door was open. Now they're saying the doors were all closed and the doors were locked, but the doors are never locked. Now, that doesn't mean that there's a big conspiracy here. I'm not trying to make more out of this. All I'm saying is why does this detail keep changing? There's a big difference between, oh, the front door was wide open when I got here, and oh, all of the doors are locked. The doors are never locked. But now, once again, conflicting information in this case. Is it a big deal? Probably not. I don't necessarily think it is. I just don't understand why this detail keeps changing. And it was one thing when it was like, okay, maybe it was the front door, the back door, the side door, okay, whatever. But now it's all the doors were locked. I don't know. That is not the original story, but it's the story told on Bodycam. So I guess it's the story that's most reliable. But it just doesn't make sense as to why we got all of these other versions of this story. But it is what it is. Over the coming days, we're going to be getting more body cam footage. And I'll go over some of that footage. Some of it, like I said earlier, I don't think I'll be able to show here. Maybe I'll show it over on X. So be sure to follow me over there, because there may be some footage that I can't show here that I will post over there. In fact, the footage that I'm talking about right now in this video, I'll be sure to post that footage over there so you can go check it out. So be sure to follow me. But right now, I'm still kind of scratching my head over this door situation. I don't want to make too much out of it, but this is just one of those details. I've already made multiple videos about this, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen them. So now, yeah, it's that added layer of, okay, now the door story changes once again. But hey, whatever. You guys let me know what you think about this. Follow me on X. Drop comments down below. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.